It's a good day to dash hard.
No, it's a good day to door hard.
Okay, so let's repeat all of what we said for posterity. So like,
one thing I had said was the only thing in my passenger seat now is food.
And he just like
He like takes off like sunglasses.
you know what'd be really funny is in every shot you come back he's wearing another pair of sunglasses and every time he says a line he just takes them off. Like they're just infinitely like spawning on his face.
And then
But
like,
it was like
for just
like in between shots.
It would
Yeah,
just be
like
one scene that like it keeps doing that, and then he like opens the door and like a pile of sunglasses pour out.
or would it be
pour
funnier
out of the car.
if he takes the sunglasses off and there just is another pair of sunglasses underneath?
Yeah,
And
like
like-
Homestar or whatever.
I don't know. I just kind of like the idea he opens the door and just like.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what was
Okay.
the idea for posterity? It
So
was
generic man-
It was
generic.
Like,
It's Lyft man.
Yeah, well,
Who
okay,
is-
so like Max man walks
He's
in.
an old retired Lyft
Lyft
driver,
assassin.
a
You're the
Lyft
best-
assassin,
best in the business.
like the John Wick, like the man
Yeah,
the boogeyman
he's John
fears.
Lyft.
Yeah, he's John Lyft, and he you know, now he's just a peaceful, humble DoorDasher who
Yeah.
just wants to give life and bring sustenance to people because he's sick of the life of taking and killing and all these
Yeah.
cruel, evil
How would that even
things.
work? Because like he's a hitman, but he only targets people that use Lyft. Well, like he's obviously contracted to kill these people.
Yeah.
This is in a universe where like there's just like the one generic made up Lyft service, you know?
Yeah, we'll call it like Ride. or
Yeah,
something.
ride,
Like, he only goes
ride
after,
with
like-
ride with a Y. Yeah, that's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly. RYDE.
But that's still compatible for the IT technician Apple guy. He drives to work
Dash
before he
free.
completes Skynet, and then he's like, and then the guy's like, "Hey, thanks for the lift." Then he's like, "More like thanks for the drop." And he's like, "Don't thank me.
It's
You're getting a drop."
gas free or ride hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dash free or Ride hard. Well, what would
We'd have to
DoorDash-
come up with
yeah,
DoorDash.
DoorDash.
What was the other thing? What was the other fun? Yeah, his old buddy from the past is like, "Oh yeah, fucking, oh, don't you miss the good old days? Don't you miss the thrill? Don't you ever want to just relive the glory days, the golden years?" And then he looks at him and he looks at his friend and he does the sunglasses take off thing, and he's like, "Sorry, I gotta get to White Castle on time."
I love he doesn't refuse him, but he's like.
Yeah, no, that's
I gotta-
because he leaves him without response. You know, that's the thing, because he's not willing to admit that there's a part of him that does want to go back. You know,
Yeah.
because it's pathos, it's real human pathos.
Exactly. Okay, so like, you know, because the other idea was also pretty funny, where it's like he's not actually a hitman; he's just the best Lyft driver.
Yeah,
in
and he
business.
just gets kidnapped. Like he gets kidnapped by like either the Las Vegas or New York taxi mob, who legit were fucking pushing for Uber and Lyft to never be instated as legal in Nevada and New York.
That's the plot of the sequel. His apprentice,
Who grew up clean. Yeah, who grew up clean. He's just a great Lyft driver.
But
Yeah,
it's like Baby Driver. You know?
baby driver. Baby driver,
He
make
gets
dreams come
kidnapped, they
true.
blindfold him, but he's such a good Lyft
Yeah,
driver.
they just like have him.
The back streets.
Because the only way that they could possibly, you know, get to him is that he basically never leaves his car. He's never touched the passenger seat of a vehicle ever. So like they thought logistically it would just be way faster if they just got in the car as Lyft people and then they just put the gun to like his back with the guy in the back seat.
Yeah.
And they're just like, "All right, take us to where we're gonna keep you as a hostage or with your unmarked grave or whatever." And they just have him drive, and they're just banking on the fact that he doesn't have. They're just banking on like hopefully he doesn't have a photographic memory, so that he doesn't just reverse the path he took in his head back to the city. I'm not wearing a seatbelt.
You're in the back, you're fine.
Yeah,
So like
I have a nice
the plot of the
cushion.
sequel is like John Ride.
Yeah,
Jack Ryder.
Yeah.
Oh my.
is trying to find his new
Wait, is that a
apprentice.
thing or
Jack Ryder, I believe, is a guy. Currently played by John Krasinski in the Amazon
that's
series.
good shit. Jack Ryder. We thought. Remember when we were talking about that? We thought it was Jack Reacher.
It is Jack Reacher. It is Jack Reacher. I'm thinking Jack Ryder is from some other fucking movie. That wasn't a franchise.
No.
No, it's
John
Jack.
Krasinski does not play Jack Reacher. He does play Jack Ryder. I saw the commercial. He's not Jack Reacher.
Oh my
Jack
god.
Reacher, I think it's
Jack. Oh, there isn't.
God,
Jack
Western
Reacher?
media is
Jack
all
Reacher
bad.
Was Tom Cruise. before
Western media is all
the movies,
bad.
The Jack Reacher movies.
You're all bad.
Black people don't count because they're from Africa. That's why they make good stuff like Def Jam and The Wire.
The Wire?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, HBO. It's all about fucking crime in Baltimore.
Julie Hill was in The Wire.
Idris Elba's in The Wire.
I want to watch The Wire. Jack Reacher. There was two of them, I think.
I just know
Tom
Jack
Cruise was in both.
Yeah.
Or Tom Cruise was him. But there is a new.
I don't know. I was just thinking.
Jason Statham was the mechanic reboot.
Right. I'm thinking John Stamos.
Anyway, Jack Ryder, that's his name.
Yeah.
Jack Ryder.
Just call him John Ryder.
Yeah. Either way, it's like
John Ryder.
You don't want it to be way too on the nose, you know, like. Yeah.
No, but it's way funnier because people will be like, "Is that a real guy?"
Jack Ryder. Look up Jack Ryder. If that's
We could be.
We're not going
Well, no,
this.
it's a lie.
We're literally never going to make this, so it doesn't matter. It's funnier if he's Jack Ryder.
We're gonna do the trailer.
We're gonna do the trailer, but we're not gonna get
This
fucking
is
sued
happening.
for it.
This is happening. Who's gonna play Jack Ryder? Who wants to play him?
I don't know. Who's gonna play John Lyft?
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, it's whatever. I definitely think that Murphy should play John Lyft.
Yes. Yeah, because it's like his hair back, sunglasses. There you go.
Have him grow, but like a 5 o'clock shadow. 5 o'clock shadow. No, like an old guy 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, exactly.
Put some gray dye in there.
I gave that up.
I gave it up.
Also, he does have some experience acting. He was I think he did like acting classes in college or something for a while, so like he can sort of act. Very amateur.
Well, I mean, we're not aiming for like.
No, this is just something that maybe somebody will see on YouTube and be like,
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, that's
They put
pretty
it in their likes.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, dude. Should make some more. Okay.
Have you guys seen the horribly ineffective weapon used for the excruciatingly slow murder or something like that?
What is that?
It's a 10-minute trailer for a thing about a guy who gets haunted by like this evil evil Eastern spirit from like India or some shit. Who beats him to death with a spoon.
Riding up on this dude.
Well, he's going slow. It's 55. And
It's
he's
literally
going like
he just.
50.
He's not even.
I don't know. My mod just beat it into me to have always have a really big space cushion is my thing.
Yeah, that's-
so I'm back seating.
You're supposed to be about 2 to 3 car lengths away. That's usually what I do, but I was only riding up.
I guess I always do like 5 car lengths. I guess
No,
that's always what I hover
This is
at.
fine. This is like the limit.
Yeah, for
Like,
this
any closer
for
to
this
be rude.
speed, I guess it's fine.
But like he just.
Not for that stack of shit though.
Bless you. Beats him with a spoon.
I can't remember what the spirit.
Gag me with a
Spirit just starts like beating him with a spoon over time. It's like he doesn't allow the bruises to heal, so eventually he's just like covered in bruises in like a hospital bed.
Wait, what the fuck are we talking about?
It was a trailer for it was just a trailer some people threw together about this guy that a spirit decides to haunt and like just beating him to death with a spoon.
Okay.
It takes like 3 or 4 years to actually kill him with a spoon of repeated like smack.
It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts, but it's death by 1,000 spoon beatings. So I think that what we should make like at least 3 trailers for like the sequels to Jack Ryder, and I think the third one should be about like the Russians are developing their ultimate like self-driving ride car.
Yeah.
In this universe, the Cold War is just still going on.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah, and fucking the guy who makes the cars the guy who smokes weed and everyone hates him for some reason because he didn't credit that artist for that art of 2B. That guy, Elon Musk. Yeah.
Oh.
Elon Musk is on the Russian side.
The main bad guy.
Developing. No, but he's like the Otacon Sokolov character where he's the technician who's being taken advantage of, you know? Elon Muskovich.
Elon Muskov.
Yeah, Muskov.
The big villain is Ivanovich.
Muskov.
What was that from?
I don't know. You said that.
I think that's a reference to something. I just saw.
Are you talking about Ivan Rydenovich Rykov?
No. I saw this ID and it's like Ivan Ivanovich Ivanovsky.
Yeah, because they're all just named Ivan.
Yeah, exactly. Or Sergey.
Yeah.
Ivan and Sergey.
Because your middle name is your dad's name plus a Vich. So
Yeah.
So like my character for my anthro furry boxing game, there's the big scary bald eagle who's super buff, the fucking massive hulking big boy, strong boy, fucking bald eagle, but he's from Russia, and he's Nikodim Orlovich Serafimsky.
That's pretty badass though. That's cool.
Yeah, and he's like Ivan Drago, but he like becomes your friend right after you beat him.
Ivan Sergey.
And you're playing as a female character, and it's like intergender boxing, so you bang.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Wait, what is it? Ivan Sergey what?
Ivan Sergeyskevich.
Sergey.
There's a couple different ways to do it, but
Sergeyskevich.
No, it's like
Sergeykov.
Sergeyskevich.
It's a bitch.
Sir Gay. Okay?
Comrade. What if his name's just Comrade?
Gay Sir. Gay if you knew like a fucking like a Russian aristocrat who was like an out gay, like a fop gay, and everyone called him Gay Sir Sergey. Because he's
But yeah, so the first movie is like he's getting back in the game, so it's like John Wick 1.
He's forced. He was in retirement, but they pulled me back in.
Yeah. And what would
they pulled him back in? What would be his buddy who tries to get him in the game gets kidnapped.
Okay, so are we gonna just drop should we just drop the whole Hitman line and just be like he doesn't kill people? He's just like he's a Lyft driver.
No, that's Jack Ryder.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Jack Ryder's a different guy. Jack Ryder is his apprentice who he raised clean to be better than him.
Yeah, right. So it's kind of like there's like two different things that he's the best in the game at. Being a Lyft driver or a ride driver. He's a Hitman.
Yeah, because they're one skill, you know.
Yeah.
That's just the genre of assassin he is.
Yeah,
that's his specialty.
He's a ride assassin.
He's a ride assassin.
So yeah, like the second one is
Jack Ryder.
And as a DoorDash, you know, he's just kind of an average DoorDasher, all things considered. Like he's pretty timely.
So the third movie will be his apprentice Jack Ryder goes to him, and he's like,
and he's really old.
And he's old, and he's like, you gotta help me. The Russians, you know, they're building
the self-driving. They're building the self-driving rides. It's gonna destroy the whole economy. They're gonna fucking the Cold War is gonna be sparked to be hot once again.
And it's nuclear powered.
Yeah, it's nuclear powered. It has
stop the Russians, the Ruskies, and then so whoever wants to play, like we can, you know, we'll get a bunch of us and get suits and
then we have a scene. And then we have a scene of John Lyft crawling through a microwave corridor.
Yeah. As his final sacrifice.
Right, Mr. Ryder.
Yeah, as his fucking spine implants explode.
Russia will have a monopoly on the rideshare market.
It is like your Snoop Dogg once said, ride or get rolled on.
We just have to have the worst Russian accents.
The Russian government put all of its money into stock to ride corporation.
What if there's like a twist? It's like you see.
Not only will we not be competitive. We will evade American monopoly rules by having Russian majority share of Ride Corporation.
the Russian government just funnels all of their money into rideshares. All of it.
No, and they're about to get a 51% stock ownership of Ride Corporation.
When Jack Ryder's holding that 1%.
No, but it's like a proxy. It's like a shell corporation. So they're going to be running both sides of the monopoly, right? Because it's going to be like the big Pepsi and Coke of rides. It's like the new Russian one with the robot cars, and then the ride ones. Then they're both just going to have the robots, and they're just going to both secretly own both corporations and just rule the fucking rideshare world.
We're going to do this, right? Like I'm going to do this.
Jack Ryder owns the 1% they need to actually.
No, he's not an investor. He's just a kid. He's just a grunt worker.
What if he just bought one?
No, I think that John Lyft would be the Jack Ryder. So they're gonna kill John Lyft because maybe John Lyft and Jack Ryder have like co-ownership of the 1% of the stocks. And then like either of them can sign it over. They both kind of have consent to sign it over, and like they're gonna the Russians are gonna be like they send the hostage video to Jack Ryder, and he's like, they have John Lyft, and he's like, we're going to kill him unless you sign over the 1% stocks we need, because he refused because he's too old and tough, but you're a big bitch because he raised you right. And then
24 hours.
And then he gets the rag out of his mouth and he's like, "Don't do it, Jack."
Silence.
Yeah. I'm a fucking boomer. I'm gonna die in 10 years anyway.
You're a hard man to find, Jack Ryder.
Always riding around.
You cut down the ride. You always have the fastest routes. You can turn a 20-minute ride into 15 minutes.
I'm thinking.
Sometimes if you're really good, you cut it down to 10.
It's like, and that's why you are a threat.
1% approval rate, 100% approval rating.
Oh my! Best Lyft.
This man has.
10 years.
You'd think this man has X-ray vision at the speed at which he can check if they're forgot. Oh wait, no, it's not DoorDash. Never mind. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
They're talking about John Lyft. John Lyft was a legendary DoorDasher as well.
But he was an even better.
But he was an even better. You'd think he had X-ray vision with the speed at which he could check if those retarded Burger King people forgot their fries, and then he'd tell them to get them, and then they get them in 1 second. Because they are so scared.
Because he said it with his normal voice.
Because he asked very politely. Customer service, Jesus.
How are we supposed to compete with that?
He is the only man who is a threat to us, but he is old and out of shape. He is no longer a threat.
We are Russians, we cannot be polite.
It is
impossible.
It's not in our nature. Yeah. This is the thing. This is all coming together.
Oh yeah.
This is all coming together. But yeah, we can use like we'll use like my car for one of them, and then we can use whenever you get a new car, we'll use your car.
I think you and Ryan need to play the Russians because you're the blonde ones.
Yeah. Well, I'll slick my hair back, get a haircut, and like slick it back. I'll get I was gonna buy an airsoft AK anyway, so I'll just use that.
Yeah.
You know. So.
You are a hard man to find, Jack Ryder.
They talk about John Lyft being super old, but like he doesn't actually look that old.
Yeah, it's like men's touch of the gray in the hair.
He has like salt and pepper.
No, I wanted him to be like fucking Sly in the fucking Apollo in the Creed movies, like old as shit.
well, obviously since it's gonna be one of us, it'll be like a wig, and like maybe a fake beard, you know.
Or just like really obvious like Sharpie lines on the face to convey wrinkles.
It's like a Gundam marker.
Yeah. Not just a Sharpie, you know.
Look how old you have become.
You've got soft, John Lyft.
You've got soft.
You are old bitch.
We are
full of
hard,
shit.
Like Russian turnip.
You are full of shit.
That's from American, yeah. You like there's like a the stands like in the CIA. One of his oldest enemies is like a communist KGB agent, but he moves in across the street and he's like pretending like, oh, I love capitalism now. But he's like teaching Steve to become a communist. He's like, you must be tough like a Russian daredevil. He like takes a bite out of it and he gives it to Steve. Steve takes a bite and he's like, ah, blood's just running down his mouth.
John Beach.
John Lyft, more like John Beach. And then like you just hear like canned laughter from like the rest of the
all stock sound effects.
Yeah,
everything's gonna be stock sound effects.
The rest of the Russians.
Yeah, it's like just us like.
You just have like studio laughter.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have a cigar, and maybe I'll just have like a Russian. I have that Russian general hat, if I can find it. And it has like the hammer and sickle on it. I got it at a.
This man brought new meaning to the phrase vehicular manslaughter.
I gotta work on my Russian accent.
That'd be like the tagline for the first movie.
Keep going, come over here.
It's way too long. Like, vehicular manslaughter as a phrase is too long to be a slogan for a movie.
Vehicular manslaughter. And then the
vehicular manslaughter.
The last one.
This summer, New Line Cinema presents in IMAX 3D in association with Marvel Comics.
Wait,
Capcom
like
presents
the movie like Death Wish. What if it's like Death Lift?
Death Lift. No, that'd be like the shitty prequel done 20 years later by a different studio. That's just about him, like when he was young, being the assassin, and it's totally boring.
Yeah.
It's like one of the it's just like the shitty Hitman movies. Yeah, they like some guy who looks nothing like a young version of the guy. Yeah, the Hitman movies. Yeah, there's been 2 live action Hitman movies, and they're both shit.
Oh, that sucks.
And no one cares about them, and no one's seen them. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that Jack Ryder would definitely be doing like Fast and the Furious shit.
Oh yeah.
Not so much with John Lyft.
See, what we have to do is like we're obviously gonna film. It's gonna be us mostly just.
This is of course like because John Lyft would have grew up in like the 50s and 60s and just ride sharing just still existed. Doesn't matter.
We could like put like green screens over the car and have like
just shitty ass CGI.
Or no, just do the thing where a guy runs by with the tree and then runs back past the window.
What is it? What do you do?
You just have the guy do the thing with the wheel, then you just have a guy outside run past the car with a tree in hand, and then he just runs back, but he turns the tree on that side so you don't see it coming back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We obviously want it to look shitty though. Like.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like more
the Lyft,
style,
the rideshare assassin.
Oh yeah. Well, green screen you can definitely do that for sure. Like, when they're driving and you just see like the town.
Yeah.
And where does he live? Will be like.
I was thinking in like San Fran, like somewhere in California, like LA.
We're the best there ever was.
We could use your backyard for like any like.
Can you just talk like Solid Snake? I gave that up.
Oh yeah, what I was talking about with that magazine where they were like, where they had that expose for Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, like right after Ground Zeroes came out. Yeah, so they did the thing that they do where they shit on old games in order to put over new ones. So like there was a little section about the recent controversy that happened around there because the 24 guy replaced David Hayter as Snake. And then it's just like, Snake is Hater's the true Snake in our hearts.
Yeah.
And then like it's like, they're kind of paying respect to him, but saying they're just gonna say that like, Sutherland's also good and we like his performance. But no, they had to throw in a fucking jab at just talking about David Hayter's one-note growling. And it's like, okay. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, fucking just shit on his performance in order to put over this fucking guys. We have guys from TV in our video games.
Sutherland is decent though.
He's probably decent in 24, and you know what? He's decent in Ground Zeroes, but he sucks in Phantom Pain.
For one, he only talks for like 2.5 minutes.
Total, yeah.
No, I think his voice acting was fine.
How the fuck was... Because, like, David Hayter's on Fiverr now. Do you think someone could just pay him money to do all of Big Boss's lines in Phantom Pain? You could easily do that.
I mean, possibly,
Maybe.
but like...
It's all down to NDA, like, contract shit with that,
yeah,
you know? With,
there's
like,
some legal contract bullshit with
there's
that.
some goof, there's some goof fuckery with that.
I became a DoorDash
Like, I think is the reason why
This is my retirement.
Steve Burton couldn't be
He lives in a
Smash.
fucking, he lives in
Alaska.
he lives in a fucking mansion. There's
And he's in
there's
his
no one to
car.
DoorDash to in Alaska.
No, but that's like the joke. Yeah, he's just a DoorDasher in Alaska now. No, I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there.
He has sled dogs, and that's his DoorDash.
The itinerary. I used my DoorDash car for the itinerary.
No, that's when you get, that's Jack Ryder. It's like, that's when he's old and he goes to Alaska. Then you have like the scene in like the log cabin where he fights all the fucking kidnappers, the fucking
But is he just
ninjas.
always in his car? Like even in his house, he's just sitting in his car.
No, he just has a house that's just like a bigger car.
What if he just has like
No, his house is like his house is like a van or like an RV.
If he just has like a race car bed.
Yeah, he has a race car. He definitely has a race car bed.
Definitely.
What if,
Jacob, you liking this idea?
I don't think he's really paying attention.
No, he's
I'm more
not.
neutral on it.
What if like he hears people breaking into his
It's the best
house,
idea ever.
breaking into his house, and like wakes up, presses a button, and the race car bed becomes an actual like race car.
Or it becomes a transformer.
And like it becomes a car, and he just drives out of his bedroom.
Yeah. That's you know.
Quick, Jack Ryder, transform into a car.
And
That's
it's like,
this. It's your true form.
and it's like,
Because it turns out that Jack Ryder came down in a pod, like he's a super car. He's like a super car baby.
it's like,
He's like a
You
fucking.
see?
He's like Superman or
That's
like or
the twist at the end.
Goku.
He's like, you see, you were not born on Earth.
you are not,
You are not born on
child.
Earth, Jack Ryder. You are not a boy of this earth.
You are
See, our boss,
super
he
car
found this out.
alien.
You are a Carjin. He's a Carajin. He's a Carajin.
The super origin. Oh my god.
You are a
I
Carjin.
don't know how
Like,
retarded we should go
He
with this.
transforms.
No, that's the third movie. Wait, no, hang on.
Yeah,
So the
that-
first movie is about John Lyft. The second one's about Jack
Right.
Ryder.
And then,
But that's the one where John Lyft gets kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the third one is about him.
The third one-
Jack Ryder dealing with his alien, not Aryan, alien heritage.
But no, the third one is like many trilogies where the series jumps the shark.
Yeah, it just goes like.
Yeah, where it's like you have like the one good scene that's like an emotional moment with like the two characters from the old movies you like, where it's just Jack Ryder having a serious conversation with John Lyft, where he's like, "Why didn't you tell me about my true heritage?" And then John's like, "I'm sorry, I just didn't know how to break it to you. I just found you in my feet. You crash landed in my backyard in Alaska,
Imagine
and I
John-
picked you up and I raised you."
Imagine John just didn't actually know at all. He was like,
No, but it's funnier if he kept it a secret, like
But,
Pa
like-
Kent, you know?
so like he just
found you in my
didn't
backseat.
know. He's just like,
Yeah, your pod crash landed in my back seat.
So it's like the
Finally
Highlander
contributing
movies where all of a sudden
something.
They've been retconned to be aliens.
Yeah, like some guys. But then like the rest of the movie is total shit. Like the rest of the movie is like they introduce like a shitty like obligatory fucking romantic interest character, and she's totally uninteresting, and a marry Sue, and she sucks.
It's
Just some boring white girl.
It's Stacy.
Like a
Stacy Uber.
Like a reporter. No, she's just like some reporter, you know.
Yeah, exactly. She's reporting on the whole thing. You know. It's like,
Yeah.
What?
She was reporting because she was on the trail about the Russians, you know, and then she was kind of like an accessory character in the second movie, and then they like blew up her role with the whole romance with Jack, and it was totally contrived and it made no sense, you know.
Oh man.
It's played by
Like-
either Natalie Portman or that
Somebody write
fucking.
this shit down,
but
please.
like
I've been recording
doing it
this
right
whole
now.
time.
You're
but, like,
recording.
Yeah.
Oh,
he like presses the race car button, and like it's in the middle of winter, so as he's driving, he's like, it's a good thing I was in bed, so I have my blanket. Because he's gone.
You wanna
Yeah.
you wanna hang out or not?
Nah, I'm
Okay.
gonna go home.
Whatever.
It's a good thing I was in bed, because I've already got my blanket. It's cold out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we got here by 7:30. That's not too bad.
Let's see, what else can we do? There should be like 6 of them.
Yeah, and then the other 3 are just like direct-to-DVD movies.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's like a killer on the loose who's like using John's like old like
He hacked
rider
into
name.
John. No, he
but he's
hacked
killing
into
people.
John.
Oh yeah, he's
their
using
DoorDash
his
account.
he's using his name like fucking Solidus.
No, like he hacks into his DoorDash account.
Yeah, and yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, the old locked away DoorDash account and the secret DoorDash server.
And there's
Yeah.
like a
Or no, the old ride server.
It's like you hear about the
The
ride
return
killer.
of John Lyft.
He's been killing people.
He's back in the game, but he's got to be ancient. He'd be like 95 by
The
now.
grizzled detective. He's like, that's not his MO.
And then yeah, like
This man's much more untamed.
the person like
He left blood on the scene.
No, the person like
John
comes in
Lyft.
before they pick him up.
Yeah, well, okay, no, because John Lyft was an assassin, but this guy's killing people that he
John
wouldn't
Lyft
normally
would
kill.
never be that sloppy.
But also like he kills him before he picks him up because
Yeah.
John Lyft drops him off before he kills him.
Yeah, exactly. But and this guy's just targeting like innocent people. He's like,
Yeah.
He's like John Lyft.
Turn
was a
left.
killer. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fucking southern. John Lyft.
No, I was
a
thinking
killer.
more like a John,
Oh yeah,
John
it's
Lyft
like
was
it's like a fucking setting change. Yeah, it's like on Stranger Tides where they're like, fuck it, let's just make the movies episodic. And then it's just because no one gives a shit about the fucking dumb trilogy.
John
But
Lyft was a
he
killer.
never killed.
Yeah,
his
so it
sons.
takes place in like fucking Missouri or
But
Arkansas.
he never killed like this.
It's like he only
He was a
targeted
killer,
organized crime.
but he had ethics. He was an ethical man.
Oh, he only targeted
And
the
it's
organized
because
crime syndicates.
and it's because his father that detective's father used to be a priest, and before he was a priest, he was an accomplice of John Lyft.
Yeah.
So he has
So he
family
kind
ties.
of has a soft spot for him because he's like he kind of agreed with what John Lyft was doing, cleaning up the streets, killing bad people.
Yeah, he was basically the Punisher.
It's
All right,
Uncle.
bro. I'll see you.
He's Uncle Lyft. Uncle Lyft was never like that. He only killed the real bad.
He was definitely a murderer, but he had
He had
morals.
principles.
he had principles.
It should
All right,
be like
man. I'll see you.
it should be like in the middle of New York, and he's just this like Missouri like.
All right, I'll see you later, bro.
Bye, batch. Bye,
It
batch.
should be like this Atlanta.
I'm gay.
This fucking detective from Atlanta in fucking New York.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
So
the
good.
only one.
Yeah. His name is like. Fuck off already. We had a sufficient amount of interactions today. I love you.
Jesus Christ!
I love you.
So clingy.
Yeah, God.
Anyway. What are we fucking talking about?
Yeah, so the detective, what's his name? His
fourth
name is
movie.
like,
Bill Goldberg.
it's like,
Bill Civic. His name is Edward Honda.
I was thinking Dan.
Dan Accord.
His name is
Dan Blazer.
His name is Honda Subaru.
No, Dan Blazer.
But he's like he's got a country accent.
Honda Subaru is like
Honda Subaru is he's from the Yakuza side of things.
He's the fucking
From that brief stint stint John had in Tokyo.
He's the Yakuza.
That's the fifth movie.
The Yakuza Lyft assassin who's like
Yeah, who was
almost as good as John.
John's only rival
Yeah,
and his greatest friend.
Yeah, that's the fifth movie.
Because the guy in the first movie, who was like his old buddy, he was like his old informant, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't like friends really.
Because obviously,
like
this
they
is John Wick, so there's
they're
like I guess there's like a huge organization of Lyft assassins then, right?
yeah, it's like the John Wick thing.
Yeah.
What's the John Wick thing called?
They don't actually call it anything.
Okay,
like
yeah,
the
it's just
Guild.
the world of
There's
assassins.
the Continental. Which
Well,
is
that's
the
just the place.
hotel.
Yeah, but that's the safe zone.
Yeah,
But,
like,
like, they
That's
never explicitly-
that's Switzerland, you know.
Yeah, they've never explicitly stated what it was called.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever been.
Man, I feel like I'm just gonna be like,
Guild.
fuck it, and just watch those movies by myself, because we're never gonna fucking get around to watching them while hanging out, because we just want to play video games.
Hey man, I would have been down to watch them.
And it's just
You just say the word, but
they're just the guild, pretty much.
Would it be
No, like a
better
Blazer
to
is a
travel
car.
on Earth?
When did we start talking about Lyft assassins?
Like soon after we left.
No, but like why? It's been the entire ride back, but why did we get on this train of thought?
It was just like, hey, I have an idea for a movie.
No, it was not like that.
No, Keegan said something, and then you're like, that should be a movie.
Yeah,
and then we started
he was talking about an idea for a game. And then I was like...
What game idea was I talking
No,
about?
he wasn't talking about
no,
an
you-
idea for a game.
Well, he was,
I was talking
about his stealth game idea.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I don't know who threw the...
I've been talking about that
them.
mostly to him and Ryan.
I don't know who threw the...
I'm saying in the car, I do not remember him talking about the stealth game. We were talking about Metal Gear and Kiefer Sutherland,
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland
but
is
that was
like,
during our Lyft Assassin
wait.
discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, I just interjected with that. Fuck.
When have you got... We were talking about Hunter screaming he was being kidnapped.
that's it.
Right, yeah, it was
in the
Hunter.
car.
Hunter
Like he
while
was driving the car.
Hunter
He was
while driving rolls
then-
down his door,
and then it
rolls down
snowballed.
his window to a cop, and he's like, "Help! I'm being kidnapped."
And then it like snowballed into...
Yeah, and then
You're
it
like,
snowballed
what if you
into
had a blindfold and you're like, they're
they
taking
blindfold you, and they're just counting on that you don't have the photographic
Yeah.
memory to remember how to get back.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
You just
but,
don't
like,
escape.
a Blazer is a kind of car.
Yeah, I think Dan
yeah.
Blazer is almost like too cool because I thought he was just like some fat like sheriff with like a cowboy hat in Kansas.
I was thinking more of like a detective, like
No,
a,
he's
like a noir style
yeah,
detective.
he's similar to like the noir detective type. He's kind of like
I was thinking like
But
a
he lives in New York, but he's from Tennessee.
yeah, and I was thinking like a Dick Tracy type character.
Okay.
He's the
Yeah, that's
detective
fine.
from Killer Bean.
Honda Subaru.
He's the detective from Killer Bean.
No, it would be Subaru Honda because I know that Subaru is the given name, and I know that Honda at least from Street Fighter.
I don't know. I like
I know-
Honda
I know-
Subaru a little bit more.
I know yeah,
Well,
I
that's how
kind of
you
like
say
the
it
sound.
here, but
I like
yeah.
but I like because I know Honda is a name is a
Mitsubishi would
surname.
have also worked.
No, but I know Honda is a surname from Street Fighter, and I know that Subaru is a given name from ReZero.
Yeah.
The next trilogy should be Jack Ryder contacting John Lyft's old contacts because like something is happening that like the viewer doesn't learn until like the 6th movie. Like some secret plot is happening that nobody.
What
can...
they're doing like a shitty setup for like a later movie.
Yeah. So like 4 and 5, he's contacting like
This is
old
the-
like John Lyft's old contacts to
The
like
John Lyft cinematic.
get like
We just need to we just need to make the films just 5 minutes on the scale of like Romeo and Juliet abridged. You know?
yeah, and like he's trying to like recruit like an army of like ride assassins.
Yeah, they're genetically engineered ride assassins. Like they,
Yeah, that's
they've
what-
been
Yeah, and
born-
they're even better than the fucking AIs from
But,
the
like,
Russians.
Yeah, that's the plot of
No, they're cyborgs.
the new genetically engineered ride assassin androids.
They're biodroids.
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, isn't biodroid like the coolest idea of all time?
Yeah, it's awesome.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
What?
Like the idea, it's a robot, but it's like it's a robot that you created, but it's partly made of like organic parts.
Yeah,
like
like the Terminator.
you like grew them in a tube. You know? Does the
Not like-
Terminator have real skin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It is like carbon. You
It
know,
is
it's
real
skin,
skin,
it's
but
literally skin.
that's it. The skin's
Yeah.
the only part.
And it also can age with
Yeah,
That's
so
later
that
on.
I know that is.
yeah, so that you can just have Arnold and not just do him up with CG like in Salvation.
Yeah, but wouldn't it look kind of awful though, right?
It looked awful
Yeah.
in Salvation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just an excuse so that we can just have Arnold not look like shit, be an old fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. This guy never mentioned me once
I can still be an invincible robot. I don't know why this is what Arnold Schwarzenegger sounds like. I don't know why he sounds like Donald Trump.
But, like, it does make sense that Skynet would create robots that could.
I'll be
Terminators that
back next term.
could- Because like, that's the next step in like hiding them. Is like make them age. Like
Oh
that.
yeah, and then you know what? The final movie should definitely go like full Resident Evil, where like Wesker is the president, than like some evil, like one of the evil, like like whatever overarching shitty bad guy
Yeah, so
is like retroactively fitted to be like the patriots of the world.
The main bad
becomes
guy
the president.
Is either. Okay, so at this point, John Lyft is like out of the picture. So it's actually Jack Ryder's like childhood best friend. He turned like he became a billionaire, and they like lost touch, and then like they meet up again. But it turns out he's actually like
Carwood,
an evil
that's my
asshole.
road. That's my road. That's my road.
All right. I know. I knew that.
No, it's not even like he becomes a billionaire and they lose touch. It's just they lose touch out of high school, and he just becomes a huge fucking asshole.
Yeah, and he's like, he uses his money to like.
Yeah, they were both impoverished,
He steals
but
the water from like.
they both grew up in the good old. They both grew up because like maybe that's like John Lyft's vacation home is in Alaska where he does the mushing with the dogs,
Yeah.
and then like he brought baby Karjin fucking Jack Ryder back to his place in California to be his apprentice, and then they grew up in the California school system. And it was pretty shit, but they were buddies. And then Jack Ryder is the good guy who is able to make something of his pain, as opposed to this guy who turned it into an excuse to be cruel and evil. And he's just at the end of the day, he's evil, but he's like the evil rival like Virgil. But at the end of the day, he's just another damaged person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sort of a sympathetic, backstory.
Yeah, it's sympathetic, but not empathetic.
Right.
All right, that's about 41 minutes. I'll stop it there. That was pretty good.
We'll see you